Now, the rest of the story.
Alright, welcome back. I'm tearing apart this vertical unloading auger gearbox. I was going to have the local Deere dealer do it, but after the parts quote, which is just under $700, and the amount of labor they were going to charge to do it themselves, I couldn't justify having them do it if I could go through and tear it apart. I mean, he just told me as far as tearing it apart, just making sure that the shims that are going to fall out on me and the spring that is actually in here gets put back in the same order that it came out, the same direction that the spring came out. The few $100 that I'm actually saving is going to go a long ways, because we've actually worked in this combine for the last 2-3 days now. I think this is going to be day 4 coming up, and parts and pieces and little things start to add up. I mean, we're making our way around the combine. We got the belts on and everything else like that, but it's just little things that we didn't realize we were going to be replacing in the first place when we started this job are starting to add up. One of the unloading augers, we will be having all of the unloading augers replaced on this combine by the time this job is done. There's actually 3. There's the vertical auger, which is the whole reason why we tore this gearbox out in the first place. Then there's 2 in the unloading auger, and the inner auger on the unloading auger, on the horizontal, is bad. And we didn't want to go through and replace worn out augers with brand new ones and have this gearbox be worn, which it is. The teeth are about 1/3 of the way worn out on it, and we're just going to go through and just new bearings, new teeth, new gearbox, or new gears, and at least have brand new teeth and everything on it, so when we go to start using it this fall, it's not going to fall apart on us, because that's pretty much the last thing any of us want right now. A full tank of grain and no way to get it unloaded. This bearing here that I was hitting with the hammer and punch, it was about the worst part of this whole process. I mean, you can see negotiations have broken down, and I just went right for the air hammer. And the big thing I'm just making sure is I'm only hitting the bearing. I'm not hitting the shaft or any of that casting. The housing, just that cast housing in itself, is $671 if I would have broke that. So good reason to be cautious. Although I guess Dad said he figured it'd been over $1,000. As far as putting this back together, though, well, it took 3 of us to get it out. Ryan and I actually had to catch it. It was coming out of the combine, and granted, there was an auger sitting on it. Ryan and I caught it. Dad had actually had to hit it with the pry bar and actually get it knocked down out of there, because it was wedged up there. You can see the rust on it. It was wedged up there pretty good. So, well, not really excited about trying to get it put back together myself, but we worked our way around the combine from the belts, and we got to do the feeder house yet. I'm not really sure what the feeder house needs. We'll probably find that out here going forward, probably today. And the fountain auger in the grain tank, I did have a video of me tearing that out, but my camera actually ran out of space. I had 3 hours worth of footage. Go figure. So my plan was to tear the fountain auger out, which was really only 6 bolts, and the new one is already in. It is just one solid auger. It isn't a folding down auger. So the fountain auger was actually not too terrible. The worst part on this whole combine was the vertical unloading auger that this auger immediately runs. It sits on this, or this gearbox that sits on this gearbox, and it was pretty much like a buzzsaw. It was getting ready to just completely fall apart. I think it had less than 50% of the flighting left on it. So I was always told that oats was the hardest on combines over the years. I guess I can believe that. I always thought soybeans would be kind of rough. But they say that running oats through, just for how hard oats actually combine, how hard they thresh and everything, and pulling them through the machine, oats are really good or really bad at wearing out your machine. Corn and beans really aren't that bad, and I think I don't know if anybody that prefers harvesting anything else other than corn. I mean, corn, it just works. seems like it's the easiest to run through a machine. So, and you're going to see this bearings, took out the WD-40 can. The bearing actually wasn't that bad. It was just kind of messed up after I was roughing it up. But overall, the gears were the big culprit in this on this piece. I'm not really sure. I think they're a little over $100 a piece. Pricey, yes, but for the few $100 we put in this, it's worth it. We got well over a few $100 in this repair job in this combine yet, but just losing a day or two in harvest when it's blue sky and not raining for once, and you can actually be harvesting. Having downtime in harvest is just terrible. I'm actually really looking forward to having our own semi now, to see how fast we're able to get done with harvest. I think we could really be done within a month of actually combining and get on to like tillage and everything else like that. Tillage, maybe anhydrous. The biggest issue we had last year, and it's not our trucker's fault, but he had, I think probably everybody in the Grant County area calling him. He was hauling for a lot of guys. I think you just couldn't find a truck last year. I mean, it wasn't just him. Everybody was booked up just for how late the harvest was, and everybody was trying to run at the same time. So it was kind of awful. I'm not going to lie. Bearings on the inside there really didn't come out too bad. I got a snap ring down in there that I got to get out yet. I kind of forgot about that. But once the snap ring's out, there's a bearing sitting right up at the top, and that'll be good to go. So you guys are watching the rest of the story. Thanks for riding along, or I'll stay in tuned, I guess. I'll try to get more footage on working on the combine here going forward. So until next time, take care, take it easy, keep in touch. I'll talk to you later.